I was too tall and well built for a comedian. I had too soft a face to become a villain, and I was not conventionally good looking as a hero. So my struggle was the worst. Sunil Gavaskar and of late Sudhir Naik and all, we used to play cricket together. I started imitating Farah Khan much before others did. Oh yeah, Sats, come on, yeah, let's do it, yeah. Shah Rukh says, Satish bhai, principal का role तो कोई भी कर सकता है, you know. ये रसाई का रोल we can't think of anybody but you doing it. ऐसा करके मुझे चने के झाड़ पे चढ़ा दिया. नहीं डले, अरे यार तू समझता क्या को नहीं है यार. मैंने जब 2 रुपए मिलते थे तब मैंने 15 रुपए मांगे. I broke that whole thing, you know, कि ये television is a poor channel. उसमें भी बहुत पैसा है.
Satish Shah, welcome to CNN News 18.
Thank you so much.
A very happy belated birthday.
Thank you very much.
You just turned 72 on June 25th. We don't see Satish Shah's humor or screen presence getting old. Do you also feel the same?
Well, at least not at home, but I've stopped performing in public now. I mean, in movies and otherwise. I've taken a, you could say, a sabbatical, and it has been rather long. The sabbatical is long. But मेरा पहले से मेरी फितरत में रहा है कि जब मैं कोई चीज़ enjoy करता हूँ तभी करता हूँ. I stopped enjoying, I guess, for a while, so I thought maybe I'll rejuvenate myself and then start all over again. I'm in no hurry to die.
No, you of course took a break in 2014, I remember.
Yeah, but I did a project or two. The last one I did was that United Kache.
Yes. But films I'm talking about, from movies it's been
Movies, yeah, maybe. I don't even remember which was the last movie I did. One of the last movies was that
Humshakals.
Humshakals, yes. No, and then Club 60
Yeah.
after that, which I did enjoy, of course. And I was very sad that that film didn't do as well as it should have, because there were a whole lot of talented guys in it, you know, very dedicated guys as actors. Sarika ji was terrific in that movie, and so was my late dearest friend Farooq Sheikh. Yeah. Miss him a lot even today. We've been together from 1970-71. And then suddenly he left us.
What is your most cherished or enduring memory of Farooq Sheikh?
Theatre.
Yeah.
College level. I never did professional theatre. This guy had a strange ability of let's put it this way, he couldn't control his laughter.
Farooq Sheikh?
Yeah, even on stage. And so many times he would just burst out laughing, being part of the characters on the screen, I mean on the stage. So he would just turn his back and still his shoulders would move so people could make out he's laughing. But he said he could not help that. He was a very fine actor otherwise. Yeah. But we have some wonderful memories together.
Yes, sir, your breakout hit, Jaane Bhi Do Yaaro, will be completing 40 years.
Oh, is it?
Later in this year, in August. The film, of course, was released on August 12, 1983. Although the film, when it was opened, it opened to a lukewarm response. But with the passage of time, it has gained cult status. How do you look back at Jaane Bhi Do Yaaro?
First of all, when we did Jaane Bhi Do Yaaro, no one believed, whosoever was a part of it as an actor or otherwise, except Kundan Shah, that this is going to be a successful film. We just did it because in my case, so I had no choice. I was a beggar, then I couldn't be a chooser. And Nasir was a tickler for experimental films, so probably he bracketed that movie also as one of his experimental films. Probably that's why he was in it. And while doing it, we had so many fights and infights and arguments and counter arguments and lack of agreement and so many scenes and all, because it defied logic all the time, all the way, right from the beginning till the end. And Nasir being Nasir, he always defied everything which was not logical.
Then which scene with Nasir is the one you feel like, oh, I should have done it differently?
No, nothing was different. We didn't get a chance to think what we were doing. We said, jo ho dekha jayega, dekhenge pehle to whether this film sees the light of the camera, I mean the projector. You'd be surprised, ये इस पिक्चर की जो प्रीमियर हुई थी, हम लोग को सबको कुंदन ने कहा था टिकट लेना पड़ेगा आपको.
In Metro?
In Metro. We all bought tickets and saw the movie, our own movie. इतने confident थे हम लोग इस
पिक्चर के बारे में. Do you remember what approach you took while playing Commissioner De Mello, your character in it? And half the film he's just dead body.
Yeah. I even got headlines in newspaper, Satish Shah better dead than alive. I laughed a lot. Well, it was, I had a guy coming to my brother's office. और वो इस किस्म की हिंदी बोलता था. He was a South Indian, I guess. कि हम जाता हूँ, हम आता हूँ, आप कैसा है? So it stuck with me. And since I'm not supposed to be a Hindi-speaking guy in the movie, DeMello, now he could be an East Indian or a Goan, whatever. But मैंने सोचा अगर ये एक्सेंट इस पर अगर आजमाई जाए तो ज़रा मुझे करने का मज़ा आएगा. मैं पिक्चर की नहीं सोच रहा था, मैं अपनी सोच रहा था कि जो भी मैं कर रहा हूँ मैं खुद इंजॉय करूँ. That's why I enjoyed playing the dead body also. That's why I guess people enjoyed me playing a dead body. I kind of told Kundan, I'm getting very bored as a dead body. Yaar. I mean, I was giving suggestions to OM Puri and others, who were around me performing. कि तू यहाँ ऐसा बोल, वहाँ वैसा बोल. That particular shot which people enjoy is he looks at my coffin and says, "Oh, sports model." That was suggested by me.
Okay.
I couldn't actively participate, so I was participating through my colleagues, and Om also happened to be my batchmate.
He's a sharabi, तो sharabi की मदद करेगा.
Sports model, he looks at my coffin and says, and another one I put there, which was a punning thing, dead drunk, because I'm dead. These kinds of little things added on, I guess, later on you realize when you look back. So I told Kundan, coming back to the point, is that, यार ये क्या है यार, डेड बॉडी पड़ा हुआ हूँ मैं यार, लेट मी ऑल्सो पार्टिसिपेट. हाउ विल यू पार्टिसिपेट? ही यूज्ड टू बी अ वेरी सॉफ्ट गाय बट अ वेरी अग्रेसिव टॉकर. तो मैंने कहा एक काम करता हूँ, मैं सीन के हिसाब से अपने एक्सप्रेशंस चेंज करता हूँ. वो यू आर अ डेड बॉडी. मैं बोला फेल, अगर तुम लॉजिकली देखो तो डेड बॉडी हैज रिगर मॉर्टिस कुड हैव सेट इन लॉन्ग अगो. आई कुड हैव स्टार्टेड स्मेलिंग टू हाई स्काई. ऑल दैट इज नॉट शोन. सो लेट मी टेक लिबर्टीज विद दिस ऑल्सो. Okay. He had too many other things on his mind, to concentrate and argue with me. तो उसने कहा जो करना है कर. But that worked, did it? It did work. So that was my idea. So it seems everybody who happened to be in that movies in any which way contributed to the film. And hats off to Renu Saluja, her editing.
Yes.
That made 60% of the movie according to me.
Sure. Sir, you were born in an independent India. We just got freedom 4 years ago. You were born in the year 1951.
Yeah.
What was that time like? Did people have a lot of warmth for each other?
First of all, I grew up in a very, very middle class surroundings. And my neighborhood was Maharashtrian and Parsis. That would prove an advantage which I never knew in future as an actor. I had not even, being an actor, becoming an actor had not even crossed my mind then. But somehow, unknowingly, I imbibed all those things. That's why I can speak Marathi fairly well.
Yes.
And if I am to portray a Parsi, then I don't make a caricature.
Okay.
I become a Parsi.
Okay.
So all these things, and we grew up, playing gilli danda and cricket on the roads and I Spy and all those things. So it was a very normal and humble way of growing up, which I miss now. When I was born, I didn't know that we got freedom just 5 years ago.
Okay.
So I was oblivious to all those things. And मेरे घर में कोई ऐसा आज़ादी की लड़ाई वाला माहौल नहीं था. हाँ, अभी भी एक झंडा है जो मेरी मदर और फादर लहराते थे. खादी का झंडा है वो. And I remember very vividly, we had a photograph of Mahatma Gandhi ji in our drawing room.
Okay.
But which was seen in most of the houses those days.
Okay.
But it didn't make any sense to me then because I was too small. But coming back to my neighborhood, I enjoyed it thoroughly, and a lot of cricketers have also come out of the neighborhood I stayed in, like Sunil Gavaskar and of late Sudhir Naik and all. We used to play cricket together, and wonderful memories. I learned driving at Breach Candy, which is now full of people. एक आदमी नहीं वहाँ दिखता था. That's why my trainer would take me there to drive a car and to learn driving. तो ये हाल था बम्बई का.
Okay.
It was beautiful Mumbai, and it ended at Haji Ali for us. I am a South Mumbai guy.
Okay.
Mumbai for us, South Mumbaikars, ended at Haji Ali.
Okay.
Going beyond that was beyond imagination.
Okay.
That was the Mumbai I was born in. But slowly things changed, and it happened so slowly and gradually it evolved that one hardly felt it. But now when I look back, I realize, my God, what it was and what it has become. That's it.
Sure, sir. You played 43 characters in the TV show
Yeah.
Jo Hai Zindagi.
Yes.
How much hard work went into playing each character?
No hard work. See, they weren't written for me. The characters weren't written for me. It would be normal writing, and then we would all discuss, चल इस बार मैं ये बनता हूँ, चल इस बार मैं ऐसा करता हूँ. That was
On the day of the
on
shoot.
the day of the shoot. Yes, yes, yes. I would start off many a time while I'm performing, the rest of the script is being written.
Okay.
So the characters were mostly my own, with the help of Manjul Sinha and Kundan Shah in agreement. But like I said, I always did something which I enjoyed. तो मैं अपने आप को एंटरटेन करने के लिए ये सारे कैरेक्टर्स मैंने क्रिएट किए थे. क्रिएट तो क्या, ये सब मैंने देखे होंगे रियल लाइफ में, स्कूल में, कॉलेज में, अराउंड माय हाउस. तो उनको सबको कहीं दिमाग में, बैक ऑफ माई माइंड होंगे, जो एक एक करके निकलते जा रहे थे. बट आई गिव फुल क्रेडिट टू माई मुंबई सिटी. इट्स अ मेल्टिंग पॉट.
Okay.
So I got to see so many different characters. And
Which was your favorite character when you look back? The one you think when you watch it you enjoy the most? You have seen
actually, you won't believe it. I look at myself performing and I laugh like an audience.
Okay.
I just alienate myself. I just forget it's me. Like I played that 30 years
Yes, yes,
experience.
yes. How he used to talk? Yes.
नहीं डले, अरे यार तू समझता क्या को नहीं है यार. I took off on a friend I had who was a dada type, and he had a very peculiar style of talking. Night darling and that kind of stuff. So in one episode I said I'll do that. He said yeah, go ahead. So I even made my hair, a wig like that. But he was very annoyed later on because first of all he lost all the respect he had as a dada. And he told me very seriously कि ऐसा किसी का पर्सनल लाइफ पे मजाक नहीं करने का यार, it's not good.
But you have done that to others also, in your family also, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah. Well, in Sarabhai, like most of the characters which Atish has written, he's taken off on his family.
Okay.
In Khichdi, where the Supri plays, he says that was actually my mother,
Okay.
who would get tired without doing anything. Bhai साहब मैं तो थक गई. So all these things keep on happening, and you use them, you channelize them well, and it becomes a hit. Then there was another one that I liked, was that Chipku, that guest, unwanted guest who comes. There are so many actually. Even I don't remember what all I did in it.
You've said that 30 years का experience है. That
Wait, that was the same thing.
Okay.
30 years ka experience, that one. Yeah, that one.
Sir, you've been acting from over 40 years now.
I guess so, yes.
How has the film narrations changed in these years?
There was a time when a guy came to narrate a subject. I've said it before and I'm repeating it. So when these guys had a strange ability, and they would send the guy who had this great art. If they ever narrated a subject to you, you would feel you are the hero of the subject. They give you so much importance. But of course, I saw through it during the earlier stage of my life only. And I don't know whether it's an ability or what, but when I read a script, even in television, it might be very boring, but if I see the spark in it, from my point of view, then I agree to do it. Like when I did Filmi Chakkar, it was not such an exciting subject, but I knew I could extract a lot of things out of it. Ye Jo Zindagi, of course, was no choice. I was there and I stayed there, and it found me a lot of popularity. But most of the serials which I have done, I played it by ear when it was narrated to me. When JD, who happens to be my producer, and Atish, when they came to narrate this Sarabhai script to me, I heard them very attentively, pretended to hear them very attentively and with a serious face. And I'm sure they thought, okay, I'm impressed, which I was. But after they went, I told my wife कि ये लोग मेरा ही character मुझे समझा के गए. So it will be even easier for me. Or probably they must have seen something in me which they thought he's the apt guy to do this role, So ऐसा भी होता है. But we being character artists, they don't spend much time or energy over explaining the movie to us and how it is and all. They just come and narrate the character, and then we discuss the remunerations, and if it suits both of us, then we are in it. But of course, when you're working like people like Shah Rukh and and Farah and all, then one has total liberty to do what one wants.
Hey, great.
Because they have confidence and they all love me and I love them, you know. So it's a terrific give and take thing. Quite a few directors I've worked with have agreed to what I wanted to do, and I always saw to it that I did nothing of the sort which would hit people below the belt or vulgarity and all. I
Yeah.
don't think it is necessary
Yes.
to create humor.
But you know, you of course have reservations. You don't like when people call actors who do comedy or comic role as
हाँ,
comedians.
इंडिया में ये प्रॉब्लम है, you know. Well, they can't differentiate between a person and an actor, or a guy who's performing and a guy who's a normal human being. So they expect you to be funny even in the moments where one is at his, you know, in an environment where one has to be serious. But when environment makes you serious, or when the circumstances make you serious, होता है ऐसा. But then one has to live with it.
You want to share that incident in Bhopal where you went to a wedding and somebody tapped on your head and
Not Bhopal, it was here. My wife was seriously ill. She was in almost dying at the operation table, and I was very tense because we were married only for 3 months. And I was sitting outside very worried, and a guy comes to me and says, क्या यार आप ऐसे सीरियस बैठे हो, अच्छे नहीं लगते हो यार, कोई जोक वोक मारो. अब जोक तो मारने की बात अलग रही, मैं उसे एक नॉकआउट पंच मार सकता था, बट समहाउ बेटर सेंस प्रिवेल्ड एंड आई जस्ट वॉकड ऑफ. तो ऐसी ऐसी हरकतें होती रहती है, पर आई गेस दैट्स पार्ट ऑफ द बैगेज वी कैरी. और मैंने कभी भी इस किस्म की हरकत या शूटिंग नहीं की है जिसमें मैं बफूनरी करूँ.
yes.
It was always humor, and mostly it was timing oriented and dialogue oriented. So one doesn't ask for such things in return, you know.
So, you know, in the 80s, you were part of the mainstream Hindi cinema, in which you still are.
Yeah.
But then there came a phase where you started working in horror films.
I enjoyed them. That's why I started working. It was not a compulsion. I have categorically said always that I loved walking under the baton of this guy, apna
Ramsay.
Ramsay. He himself was a wonderful actor, and most of the actors he took, I wouldn't name them, were the ones whom he had to, he performed and showed aisa karo. And if they did quarter of that, he would make the shot okay. Of course, that wasn't the case with me, but I enjoyed thoroughly working with Ramsay. I could do what I want. I took out all my, क्या बोलते हैं उसको, मेरा humor सब मेरा उसमें निकलता था. They would not object to anything. There are few things which they wanted me to do, which I did reluctantly and little, you could say, थोड़ा सा हिचकिचा कर करना पड़ता था, मगर फिर वो इंसिस्ट करते थे करो करो, तो मैं बोलता चलो ठीक है करता हूँ, इतना सब तुम मुझे करने देते तो मैं आपके लिए ये कर देता हूँ. थोड़ा उन लोगों का ज़रा क्रॉसिंग द लाइन कभी कभी होता था जो मुझे करना पड़ता था, बट आई thoroughly enjoyed doing their films.
They had this famous Haveli. Each
That belonged to my friend. That's how I got introduced to them when I was struggling. From somewhere they found out that this guy who owns that Haveli is an ex-ruler. He's a very close friend of mine. He still is. So he said कि आप हमें ये करवा दो, कहीं से उन्होंने कांटेक्ट निकाला. तो मैंने कहा ठीक है, मेरे हाथ में है नहीं, वो मेरा दोस्त है, मैं पूछूंगा, उसने कभी ऐसा काम किया नहीं है. सो आई कॉल्ड हिम अप. तो ही सेड सतीश आई डोंट माइंड, लेकिन वो फिर वो यार वो नुकसान करेंगे, ये वो मतलब नहीं, नुकसान तो अच्छा Ramsay ना दे. तो उन्होंने कहा था आपका भी रोल है. तो वो ज़माने में तो अंधा क्या मांगे दो आगे. मैंने कहा अच्छा रोल भी मिल रहा है मुझे. मैंने कहा नहीं मैं पापा मैं भी हूँ उस पिक्चर में. तो उस शर्त पे उसने मुझे वो दिया कि देखो तुम रहोगे पैलेस में, वो उसमें से कोई रुकेगा नहीं, शूटिंग करके चले जाएंगे, और तो तुम ख्याल भी रखना. वैसे मेरा मैनेजर वहाँ है.
This is for the film Veerana.
No, this is पुराना मंदिर.
Purani Mandir. Oh.
The first one I did when I was a struggler. तो उसका बड़ा मज़ेदार किस्सा है. उस वक्त ये बहुत हिट हो गए थे सदाशिव अमरापुरकर जी. तो उन्होंने उनको भी साइन कर लिया था, और मुझे भी कहा कि अच्छा देवर more so they were trying to get me into the movie so that they would get the palace.
Yes.
And I knew they are doing it for that. से मतलब ठीक है यार, मुझे एडवांटेज मिलता है तो क्यों छोड़ना. It was an opportunity. इसका बड़ा मज़े का किस्सा ये है कि उन्होंने कहा कि सदाशिव जी आपका आधा फेस जलाएंगे. तो उन्होंने कहा नहीं मैं अपना फेस नहीं जलाऊंगा. बोले अच्छा ठीक है, तो आपको हाथ में बैसाखी देंगे, आप लंगड़े हो. नहीं मैं हाथ में बैसाखी भी नहीं लूँगा. तो खैर ये दोनों मेरे को लगा दिए उन्होंने. आधा चेहरा भी जला दिया और बैसाखी भी दे दी. It was torturous. We used to put some, the makeup man they had used to have a beedi in his mouth while doing my makeup. तो पूरा बीड़ी का भपका भी मैं लेता था अंदर, but I couldn't choose. I was a nobody. But that's how we became friends. And then after all, and उस movie में I didn't do any comedy, as you know.
Yeah.
And I was luckily then I felt कि अच्छा ही हुआ मेरा आधा चेहरा जला दिया, कोई पहचानेगा नहीं. So it worked that way.
Where was this Haveli situated?
It is on our western coast, in the place called Murud Janjira.
Yes.
So that Haveli, nahi, that palace belongs to the
Sorry, that palace.
Nawab of Janjira,
Okay.
and he is a close friend. So that's how I had arranged it.
Do you remember the moment when you decided that you want to be an actor?
No, I didn't decide that first of all. I told you all my life I'm after enjoying myself. So while I was doing college, I was doing theatre thanks to Farah and all, because I became his protege once he left college, because he was much senior to me. तो उसने फिर मुझे ट्रेन किया, I mean प्लेस में लेना शुरू किया. Used to come as a director and ex-student. और जब BA करने के करीब आए तो मैंने कहा अब तो बाप बोलेगा नौकरी ढूंढो, तो कुछ इसमें रास्ता निकालना पड़ेगा. तो किसी ने सजेस्ट किया कि आप FTI में क्यों नहीं अप्लाई करते. तो मैंने FTI में अप्लाई कर दिया. तब तक नहीं सोचा था एक्टर बनना है, कि 2 साल और मिल जाएंगे लीज के, तो तब तक मैं सोच सकूंगा क्या करना है लाइफ में. बट लकीली ने FTI आई डिड वेल. आई वॉज इवन अ मेरिट स्कॉलरशिप होल्डर देयर. तो उसके बाद फिर सिलसिला शुरू हुआ. बट देन ऑफ कोर्स 7 years I had no work after passing out from FTI till I did small movies like Umrao Jaan. I mean small roles, not small movies. Umrao Jaan, and I did Gaman mein one scene because of Farah. And ऐसी छोटी मोटी फिल्में. And my colleagues, when they made movies from FTI, like अरविंद देसाई की अजीब दास्तान, मोहन जोशी हाजिर हो, एल्बर्ट पिंटो को गुस्सा क्यों आता है, इट सूटेड मी एज वेल एज देम ना. हम पैसे मांग नहीं सकते और उनको एक्टर मिल जाता था. तो ऐसी फिल्में की टिल जाने भी दो यारो हैपेंड, विच वाज आल्सो वन ऑफ देम ओनली. आई मीन दोज फिल्म्स ओनली, बट इट हैड अ लक ऑफ इट्स ओन. एंड ऑफ कोर्स देन ये आया, ये जो है जिंदगी. तो उसके बाद देयर वाज नो टर्निंग बैक बाय द ग्रेस ऑफ गॉड.
Do you remember how was it like facing camera for the first time?
मैं डरता था कैमरा से. दैट विर्र ऑफ कैमरा यूज्ड टू रियली स्केयर मी. अरे बाप रे, फुटेज जा रहा है, महंगा होता है, फिल्म महंगी होती है, अगर मैंने रिटेक दे दिया तो क्या होगा. आई बिलीव हर एक्टर इससे गुजरता है, खाली मैं ही एक फ्रैंकली बताता हूँ ये. मगर वो धीरे धीरे भी वो निकल जाता है. एंड देन व्हेन एक्टर फाइंड्स हिज कंफर्ट लेवल इन फ्रंट ऑफ द कैमरा, then everything is easy.
Were you nervous facing camera for the first time?
I wonder if anybody has not been nervous facing the camera for the first time, unless he is blind and can't see what's happening around.
Okay.
And that's how it is. लोग मुझे अक्सर पूछते भी है कि what is the difference you find between television and cinema? For me, acting is acting. I don't care whether it's in electronic media or film format. अभी तो वो भी electronic media हो चुका है. Digital, whatever you call it.
You do some great impersonations of your co-actors. Would you please like to show us how Farah Khan, how she pitched you the role in Main Hoon Naa?
Yeah, I think I started imitating Farah Khan much before others did. Oh yeah, Sats, come on, yeah, let's do it, yeah. You're a fab, yeah, fabulous. I don't have to tell you anything, yeah. That was the thing. छोटी छोटी बातें. वो तो उसके सामने करता था, बच्ची थी मेरे सामने. But I'm so happy for her, yeah. She's found so much of success and adulation at the same time. Those are the days.
Do you think audiences back then in 80s and 90s were more forgiving than today? Because today, if the audience or people don't like anything, they probably will let you know via, maybe they'll put it out on social media or troll you.
Probably because of the media, social media. They didn't troll me. One reason could be that there was no social media then. And second reason could be I behaved myself all my life. They were more inclined towards being entertained. They never bothered into getting into nitty-gritties of what an actor actually is and what did he say. And hardly any actor made any political comments as far as I know, those days. They were too busy, among themselves. At the most, they fought among themselves after getting drunk. That was it. That was the only news.
Do you think your appearance, your looks gives you an edge, as directors can easily imagine you in a variety of roles?
Not an edge, it was a big disadvantage.
Really?
Because when I came back from FTII, there were things, where actors were categorized. Ki ye comedian, ye villain, ye hero. I didn't fit into any one of them. I was too tall and well built for a comedian. I had too soft a face to become a villain. And I was not conventionally good looking as a hero. So my struggle was the worst. And people mistook me for everybody else, everything else except an actor. They mistook me for a cinematographer or an editor or a director when I went to meet people. So it worked against me. Abhi log bolte hain ki your personality and persona, how has it helped you?
That time
it
it
didn't
was
help
tough.
me, it was a drawback then.
It was widely reported that you were one of the highest paid comedians in Bollywood. Do you like to get paid a lot, sir?
No, I wasn't.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know about it. If I were, I'm happy now. Thanks for telling me. But yes, let me admit that when television started, the producers in television, they would give that kind of an idea to an actor, ki, "Arey yaar, this is a TV series, yaar, isme aapko kya dein, kya nahi." And that's how they exploited a lot of actors, especially from theatre. And doing television for mainstream actors was a taboo. So the producers fell onto the stage actors and theatre actors and all those things. And of course, they could easily convince them. क्योंकि थिएटर में उस ज़माने में इतने कम पैसे मिलते थे कि जो पैसे यहाँ के प्रोड्यूसर्स ऑफर करते थे उनको बहुत अच्छे लगते थे.
Okay.
So I personally broke that whole system, and I asked for a certain amount, which I dared to, and I was given. And that's how the trend started. Others started then following my path, and they also had good raise, in their remunerations and all. I'd never boast about it, never talked about it. आज मैं बात कर रहा हूँ. यानी मैंने जब 2 रुपये मिलते थे तब मैंने 15 रुपये मांगे.
Okay.
तो फिर लोगों को जिनको 1 रुपया मिलता था उन्होंने 5 रुपये मांगने की जुर्रत की, फिर 10 रुपये मांगने की जुर्रत की. इस तरह मैंने भी, एंड देन आई ब्रोक दैट होल थिंग कि ये टेलीविज़न इज़ अ पुअर चैनल, उसमें भी बहुत पैसा है एंड व्यूअरशिप भी काफ़ी है, और ये सब चीज़ें मैं बहुत पहले समझ गया था. So I was, yes, at one time I was paid pretty well for my serials. I wouldn't deny that.
You of course displayed your range in comic roles, and then you played neutral characters, and then you started playing negative roles. When and how you decided to make this transition from comic
Not
roles?
transition. See, the problem people have is they don't like to be stamped as a comedian as such. And so right in the beginning of their fame, when they kind of achieve some kind of a fame in a certain character, and then people come with the same kind of roles to them, they start refusing. नहीं मैं नहीं करूँगा, उनका ego hurt हो जाता है कि I'm such a fine actor, which most of them were and are, कि मैं ये role नहीं करूँगा. मगर that's the mistake they are making. What I thought was that मुझे भी यही होगा, मेरे साथ भी यही होगा कि comedy. I knew that I am pretty versatile. But I didn't make that mistake of refusing roles. मैंने कहा कि ये मैं roles करता रहूँगा और उसमें मुझे कहीं avenue मिल जाएगा अपनी दूसरी talents दिखाने का तो मैं दिखा दूँगा. And let's see if people accept it. So that's how I went around. And a lot of actors didn't do this, so they suffered. After initial success, they just went into the oblivion. So not that I was a strategist or great mind working, but I just thought, let me do it this way. कि जो opportunity आई है उसको avail करो पूरी तरह और उसमें से फिर रास्ते निकालो.
Now you played the role of Ajit Singh in DDLJ. It's an iconic film.
अच्छा, the name of the character was Ajit Singh.
You still don't know in DDLJ?
I never addressed myself in that movie. No?
Yeah, okay, but okay. So
Well, I played a loud Punjabi and very garish clothes designed by, I think, Manish Malhotra in connivance with our man who's a big shot today,
Karan Johar.
Karan Johar.
So then, what is your most cherished memory of DDLJ, of Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge?
I just sailed through the role. I didn't, it was just fun. And Adi was a very sweet director to act with, and he very humble and not very asserting. He got what he wanted from most of the actors, and Yashji was there all the time, but I never saw him advising him or even guiding him what to do, and also it was totally Adi's baby. And I sailed through the role, totally sailed through the roles. In fact, I improvised a lot in that also. That was Shatarani Maharaja scene hai, where he gives a move and Amrish ji is checkmated.
Yes.
And I'm so impressed with the guy. You're genius. No, more than that, you're indigenous.
Yes.
So all those things I used to put in on my own. It was really a great fun and a great experience. That is the first time I enjoyed the real high production experience, you know. The whole, जिसे कहते हैं ना,
Makeup.
making and the sets and
Vanity vans.
Vanity vans. नहीं, तब Vanity vans नहीं थी.
Okay.
Vanity vans तो बहुत बाद में आई. But you know कि जो production value जिसे कहते हैं, while making a movie as well, not only otherwise. So that's when I realized कि अच्छा बड़ी फिल्में ऐसे बनती है. It was a great experience.
But did you get a feeling that time that we were all part of something very special, because that film is the longest running film in Indian cinema?
No, because you see, everybody was a friend or a known person. Like Shah Rukh had done movies with me before, and he was a movie star. Kajal to tab bachchi thi. Amrish ji was the senior guy. सबसे सीनियर तो खाली उस फिल्म में मेरे से अमरीश जी थे. तो ऐसी कोई फीलिंग नहीं हुई कि ऐसे ही मज़े करते करते बनाई, लाइक अ पिकनिक. एंड यशजी स्टाइल इज़ ऑल्सो सच, यू नो, खाना पीना साथ, बैठना साथ. इवन इफ यू वेंट आउटडोर्स, द होटल इज़ बुक्ड, एवरीबडी आफ्टर द शूट मीट्स डाउन देयर, हैज़ पार्टी, जिसको पीना है पियो, यू आर प्लेइंग स्क्रैबल्स and then have dinner, go off to sleep. So it was a very family like atmosphere. It still must be, I'm sure. So ऐसी जगहों पे काम करने का एक मज़ा ही अलग होता है ना. All the actors are in high spirits. Nobody has any complaints. So generally that good feel, जो पूरा जो ambience होता है, that helps making a good film.
You know, sir, how do you define film industry of 80s to now? Today it's a lot organized.
Well, people have become more professional now. There's less shouting around in the studios. वो एक ज़माने में अरे मुंडी काट, ए बेबी इधर ला, वो कर, फलाना कर, अरे जुता नहीं है कि ये कर, इधर रख, वो सब आवाज़ें बंद हो गई. It is more disciplined, more so because they have now walks and everything, and they don't have to shout at people. And hats off to all our technicians, especially the light guys. They are excellent, because I worked in different cities, I would name them, which have their own industry, and I've seen, especially in the East, I mean, nobody is worried. You know, nobody would work as hard as our guys work. You know, so many times the cinematographer doesn't even have to say क्या करना है if a light fuses. They do it on their own. कुछ जगह में मैंने ऐसे देखा है कि वो आराम से बैठे till somebody asks him कि अरे भाई लाइट फ्यूज हो गई, चेंज करो. Then he looks for his junior to do it, and then that junior looks for his junior to do it. I have seen this happen in 80s. You know, जो काम हमारी बम्बई की फिल्म इंडस्ट्री में, and I'm sure down south also, which is I believe are more disciplined right from the beginning, जो काम हमारी इंडस्ट्री में 5 मिनट में होता है, वही काम ईस्ट वाली इंडस्ट्रीज में आधे से पौन घंटा लगता था तब. I don't know how it is now.
Also the stories have changed, don't you think?
Stories have also changed, yes.
It's become more real now.
More real, no dialogue bazi. It suits me. I was never into this dialogue wala, because my style of acting is more like repartees and, you know, give and take thing, you know. In fact, I tell the guys कि please आप dialogue बाजी मुझसे मत करवाइए. Keep it as colloquial and as simple as possible. That means I was far ahead of my time then. अभी तो बिल्कुल conversational level पे dialogues होते हैं. वो flowery and bombastic dialogues तो अभी बहुत कम लोग बोलते हैं. और जो बेचारे बोलते हैं वो थिएटर करते हैं सिर्फ. It's like that.
So which scene you remember of the film which you think you had a great repartee with your...
Everybody, in fact.
other actors?
I have great repartee with Nasir also, who's supposed to be a very serious actor, and he himself admits कि भाई मैं तो script बराबर by heart करके जाता हूँ dialogues, and I'm very uncomfortable till I have the dialogues right back of my hand. मगर ऐसी कोई situations आई थी हमारी जब उस तरह करने जाओ तो वो scene होता ही नहीं.
Which film was that?
जाने भी दो यारो.
Okay.
उसमें एक सीक्वेंस है जिसमें दे फूल मी कि हम टाइम्स और न्यूज़ रीडर से आया है, फ़ोटो लेने का है तुम्हारा एंड ऑल. नाउ दे नोबडी हैड अ क्लू वो सीन कैसे किया जाए. एंड मुझे इमरजेंसी थी क्योंकि मुझे वो अलीबाग में शूटिंग करते, नेक्स्ट डे मुझे फ़्लाइट पकड़नी थी गोवा की किसी फिल्म के लिए, और उस ज़माने में फ़िल्म मिलना बहुत बड़ी बात होती थी. तो मुझे वो टेंशन लगा हुआ था, और यहाँ ये आर्ग्यूमेंट्स में पड़े, हाउ कैन वी डू दिस, हाउ कैन वी डू दैट, व्हाट डू वी डू. So then eventually I told Nasir, and Nasir, somehow we have mutual respect for each other, and maybe I'm happy he has little confidence in me. So मैंने कहा Nasir, let's improvise. क्या मतलब मैं जो करूँ उससे तू एडजस्ट करना, तू जो करे उस पर मैं एडजस्ट करूँगा, and let's do the scene. So that whole scene of taking photographs of the documents where I feel he's taking my pictures was improvised, and it got over within half hour.
Wow.
जिसके लिए नहीं तो 2-3 दिन लग जाते हैं. तो कभी कभी इन चीज़ों से बड़ा फ़ायदा होता है, इम्प्रोवाइज़ करो और इट गोज़ इन द राइट ट्रैक, एंड इफ इन द बिगिनिंग itself it gets channelized well, then it goes all along to success, towards success.
The other memorable role you did was for the film Main Hoon Naa, as a spitting
Main Hoon Naa, Main Hoon Naa I did reluctantly. I was chadawed by these guys, Farah is too smart. And Shah Rukh also insisted कि Satish bhai, they gave me a choice कि you either play the principal or Mr. Rasai, ना क्या नाम था, Professor Rasai. So I said I'll play the principal. So then Shah Rukh says, Satish bhai, principal का role तो कोई भी कर सकता है, ये रसाई का role we can't think of anybody but you doing it. ऐसा कि मुझे चने के झाड़ पे चढ़ा दिया. तो I didn't think much about it. मैं बोला पुराने दोस्त है, colleagues है, मतलब कर लो. फिर वहाँ जाने के बाद पता चला क्या करना है. So then I had to improvise. So what I did was I would take a small gulp of water, and of course the cinematographer was damn good. उसने इस किस्म की lighting वगैरह दी थी कि that spray that comes out is really visible and all. And somehow I managed it. And Shah Rukh kept on laughing in the scenes. So I had to. There were few scenes which I had to do several times.
He was spitting on his face.
Yeah, I said तेरा ही नुकसान हो रहा है. I keep on spitting on your face and you start laughing. तो retake होता है. But it was fun. And those guys were rolling on the ground while I was performing. It was great fun, great fun.
In which scene for which you did the maximum takes in Main Hoon Naa?
Main Hoon Naa, that classroom scene where I come.
5.
हाँ, तुम आराम से बैठो, पाँव ऊपर रखो, नहीं, and then I burst up into anger, how dare you, That scene, in that scene, my God, how much he laughed and how much everybody else laughed. And they didn't mind the retakes, but I did because it was a great effort doing it,
Sir, you have worked with many directors. According to you, what is the best way to talk to an actor on the sets? What comforts an actor the most when he's on the set?
My style is first to make friends with everybody I'm working with, especially actors. And I have my selfish motive behind it, because I'm more into give and take, like I said, I don't just say my lines on my own and forget about what others are doing. I depend a lot on the reactions because it gives me a boost as an actor. So first thing I do is I find a kind of a comfort level with all my co-actors. अगर वो उनको मैं नहीं जानता तो. And that's how then we perform together. And first of all, being one up on anybody is not my style. It never was.
Okay.
So there's been instances where I have given the punchline to the others.
Okay.
So that I can give a right reaction and make the joke, happen better.
Like which one?
In serials and all. I don't want to name the guy or something, but कई बार मैं ऐसा करता हूँ कि यार एक काम कर, because the writers used to get carried away. Satish Shah, no. Let him say this and I'll react. See, the aim is to create humor. Where it comes from is not important. So I said, why don't you एक काम कर यार, तू ये line बोल और मैं ये react करता हूँ. And it worked better at times, If I felt that on this line or on this punchline of mine, the guy is not reacting, it's basically the reaction which causes the humor. It's not just your lines. And it's an old cliche that acting is between lines, but it does work this way in humor.
Okay.
So I've done that before.
So
I find a comfort level and then we perform together.
So then is there a code or a mutual understanding among comedians when they're working on a scene and it's not working? How do you?
Well, then simple. First we find out what's not working. Then we find out what makes it work. Then we consult the director and the co-actor you're with, and in mutual agreement, then we perform the scene and it works.
Like, give us an example.
I'll tell you about Sarabhai, which became pretty famous because Sarabhai began, when it began, the husband was supposed to be very vicious.
Okay.
Means this Indravardhan Sarabhai.
Yeah.
And he is bent upon belittling his wife all the time कि उसको नीचा दिखाना किसी तरह. ये एक दिमागी फितूर था आतिश का. मैंने फर्स्ट एपिसोड किया और मुझे लगा कि ज़रा बेसुरा हो रहा है. तो मैंने आतिश के साथ डिस्कस किया कि आतिश, आई डोंट थिंक दिस विल जेल, स्पेशली विद द कैरेक्टर आई प्लेड ऑल माई लाइफ. तो बोला नहीं सतीश भाई, व्हाट इज़ रॉन्ग? मतलब कुछ नथिंग रॉन्ग विद इट, लेट्स मेक दिस कैरेक्टर लाइक दैट ऑफ Hagar the Horrible, you know.
Okay.
You know, he's a very lovable, mischievous, lovable, what do you call it?
Individual.
Yeah. And he does it not out of spite but out of fun. And he immediately got the cue and he started writing like that. And it really worked. I mean, I met a lot of girls saying that I would want to have a father-in-law like you.
Nice.
And I met a lot of, you know, these kinds of relations. And
Why you decided to take a break after the release of Humshakals? Because the film really underperformed at the box office.
I don't even know. I didn't see the movie.
Your own movie.
I was somehow very uncomfortable doing that movie.
Humshakals.
Not because of any other reason. मुझे ऐसा लग रहा था मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ. अभी at this juncture of my life, what am I doing? And with no fault of the director or the producer, मुझे ऐसी एक फीलिंग आई कि अभी कुछ दम नहीं रहा यार, ज़रा ब्रेक लेके आई शुड रिजुविनेट माई सेल्फ. तो अभी तक मैं वही कर रहा हूँ.
So what you did in this last 8 years when you took a break?
Nothing. I've got a lot of hobbies. I do a lot of tinkering at home. I have a mechanical mind. छोटी मोटी चीज़ें रिपेयर करते रहता हूँ. जो अच्छी चीज़ें उसको बिगाड़ते भी रहता हूँ रिपेयरिंग के बहाने. नेट सर्फिंग करता हूँ, पढ़ते रहता हूँ. I read all facts. I never read fictions. And no more book reading anymore, but I'm on the internet reading interesting stuff that interests me. वैसे सुबह से रात कब हो जाती मुझे पता ही नहीं चलता, which means I'm enjoying my life.
You know, you have done many films with Shah Rukh Khan. How has your equation evolved in these years while working with SRK?
I found Shah Rukh right from the beginning a bundle of energy,
Okay.
which is still around in spite of so many years. And that is rare, and terrific reflexes that man has. And his zest for working, I mean, उसको एक किस्म का जुनून है. ऐसे आदमी कभी बूढ़े नहीं होते, which I noticed. And I identified a lot with him because nobody has seen me do it, but the things he could do, the stunts he could do, he can do even today, I've been doing in my youth.
Okay.
You know, like jumping from long height. I was a very strong athletic build I had, and I indulge in sports, and also I had this natural flexibility in my body. Even today, if I fall, I'll never fall on my face. I always take the fall on my shoulders and roll over, you know, with this weight and this age. I do get hurt now because of my age, but not as badly as others would. So I saw myself in him when he was performing those stunts, you know.
Wow.
You could ask a few friends of mine, my old friends. I was very good at performing stunts.
How?
You know, falling off and dead man's fall and these kinds of things I used to do. So that's why I developed special love for him. कि अरे यार, and I used to tell him also कि यार ये एक ज़माने में मैं सब करता था, मुझे मौका नहीं मिला, and I'm feeling so happy you doing it.
How nice.
Like I saw him in one film. एक गाना था बड़ी मुश्किल है खोया मेरा दिल है, उसमें वो गाड़ी के टॉप पे से चलती गाड़ी से गाड़ी की विंडो से अंदर आ जाता है. That kind of flexibility even I had once upon a time. So I felt very, very thrilled to see him do it. कि चलो कोई तो ऐसा आया, मैं नहीं कर पाया तो. And I have a special feeling and a special place for him in my heart.
Oh, nice.
Although I haven't worked with him for a long time, and I never seek work. I have never ever till date asked him कि भाई यार तू फिल्म बना रहा है, काम निकाल. अभी जो आप बता रहे थे, मुझे पूछ रहे थे ना कौन सी फिल्म बना रहे हैं?
Donkey.
डंकी. दुनिया मुझे पूछ रही है डंकी में आप कर रहे हो, मुझे आज तक किसी ने अप्रोच ही नहीं किया. So it's news for me.
Okay.
And if they approach me, I'll let you know. Okay, yes, they had approached me. And I'll also let you know whether I'm doing it or not, whether I want to do it or otherwise.
Sure.
It's like that.
Today, which directors do you think that you'd like to collaborate with, or whose work?
I'm so impressed with every director these days, because of late I've been watching a few movies on Netflix and this thing. They are doing terrific work. And I wish such directors were around when I was younger. I mean, जिस किस्म की फिल्में हम लोग चूज़ करते हैं, सब्जेक्ट चूज़ करते हैं, परफॉर्म करवाते हैं लोगों से, और ऐसे ऐसे एक्टर जिनको कोई पूछता नहीं, अगर आज फिल्म इंडस्ट्री सिर्फ फिल्म इंडस्ट्री होती तो मेन स्ट्रीम ही सिर्फ आज होता तो कोई पूछता भी नहीं उनको, क्योंकि उनका भी वही हाल होता जो मेरा हुआ. They could not have been categorized, and that's why they would have lost on to a lot of good roles, in spite of being so talented. उन सबको मौका मिला है. ऐसे कितने एक्टर हैं who have less than ordinary looks पर कितना अच्छा परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं, और अब वो लोगों के दिलों में छा रहे हैं. जैसे एक ज़माने में मैं हॉलीवुड का एग्जाम्पल देता था कि उसमें कितने मशहूर लोग हुए, आर नॉट इवन गुड लुकिंग. जैक निकल्सन, यू फाइंड हिम गुड लुकिंग, हैंडसम, कितना बड़ा स्टार हो गया. वही अभी ट्रेंड इंडिया में आ रहा है. आई एम सो हैप्पी.
And finally, if someone makes a biopic on Satish Shah or write a book, what it should be titled as?
Well, I'll call it "It Just Happened." You know, it just happened. My life has been like that. It's like a jigsaw puzzle. I mean, एक मोहरा लग गया तो धड़ 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 सब लगते चले गए. It fell in place on its own. I never planned anything in future. I still don't. I'm very careless. I can't even plan a holiday. I make my friends plan a holiday and I join them. I'm so bad at planning. And it worked for me all my life, so I don't complain.
Sure. Well, we are looking forward to lots more, many more roles from you. Thank you so much for your time.
I hope I managed to find a role which I would be really interested in doing.
Is there still a role that you want to play?
Yeah, you know, my friend, good friend Nasiruddin Shah says, you know, Satish, what if you got a role of a poet who is also an introvert and who's been hung? I said, I can portray everything except a person who hasn't eaten in 20 days. तो वो हम लोग के बीच में चलता.
Sure.
An intellectual poet who's also an introvert. Probably he was describing himself.
Sure. Well, we are looking forward to lots more. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank you so much. Enjoyed talking to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.